Yeah, so I would just want to talk about um, Waystone sustaining after the patch, which I think will become really hard due to the three nerfs that the devs have introduced in the patch notes. So the first notes nerf that they're gonna do is the Radiant Waystone, which says 25%. It's gonna be 15%. It's pretty big, 10% drop rate reduce is pretty bad. And also the the one that increases a higher uh this map boss Waystone's chance passive will become 6%. Where is that? Doesn't seem to be here. So I'm not sure what they were talking about there, but maybe here? No, that's not what it is. So there's supposed to be a small passive node that increases Waystone drop, but it's not here. So, oh, right here. So I can't even get it since I haven't done the Arbiter of Ash boss fight or on the quest lines. So this will be reduced to 6% as well. So that's already two huge nerfs that will happen for the Waystones. And also, they reduce the amount that the boss will drop a Waystone of equal tier or higher, which is one of the ways that you can actually just keep sustaining or keep ahead of getting tier 15 Waystones. For lower content, I don't think it like tier maps 1 to 6, it should be fine, but for higher tier, it might be harder or it'll force you to find the the precursor tablets that add boss to the maps. Yeah, so I've been running my atlas to account for the waystone drop, so I have a lot of the waystone to increase to be a higher tier and quantity of waystones, which is pretty much and boosting their drop rate using the increase of uh, the prefix and affix modifiers. So when I run a map, I usually get around 500 to like 900% waystone drops. And when I don't fight a boss, this is the current patch, that I still get like two tiers below those waystones. Like it's very rare that I'll get, if I'm running a tier 15 map, to get a tier 15 waystone in that map. And those maps are boosted with currency, like with Exalts and Val Orbs sometimes. And I still don't get it. So I think this will actually be, well, after this patch, it's going to be harder if you're not using the precursor tablets to fight the boss, which I'm not sure how they're going to do that. They're going to increase the frequency of the boss, the map bosses, uh, of your current Atlas map. Like, I'm not sure how they're gonna change that since I've played quite a bit and I still haven't seen any citadels. Like, there's no citadels at all. Like, I'm 0 out of 3 still. I'm looking forward for that change, but for the Waystone drops, I'm definitely not looking for that change because they even didn't disclose the number of how much they reduced the boss will drop a waystone. So I will try out. I have a couple of spots ready after the patch that we'll see how much improvement or worse it is. Like there's a couple that I can just go through and see if sustaining with a map boss will actually help me. Like this one, I will try that one with a tier. 15 map after the patch. Because right now, if I have a 500% Waystone drop, you get about 3 to 4 tier 15s if you drop a tier 15 Waystone. So if that reduced to like two, a 500% increase Waystone drop, decrease to two drops, or even one, that's gonna be very hard to sustain. Like real extremely hard. So I'm not sure what the point of that nerf is. They just don't want people to be progressing that fast, which I don't it doesn't make sense to me. Like it seems like a lot of the changes or like systems that they put in Path of Exile is just to keep you playing and grinding for a really long time. Like they didn't address any of the ritual being our random number, random based, and also uh, the expeditions. So there's some good changes in the patch, but there's a lot of bad ones too. There's like some nerfs that some classes we'll have to see after when it drops. Like the fire flower I'm using right now, I'm not sure if it's supposed to. Well, if it's gonna damage me a lot, because it says that if you ignite an enemy, you take damage, right? But it says that it's not working properly. But I turned off the ignite for the flame wall using brutality, and but my minions ignite. So if my minions ignite and I take damage after that, I might have to change the whole setup for this, since that might be hard if I just keep constantly taking damage while I'm fighting and I'm not recovering energy shield, which will cause me to probably die more often than not. So that's about like the big changes that I'm kind of concerned of for patch 0.11 that's gonna be dropping today. But yeah, so hopefully the Waystone nerf that they didn't specify didn't really hurt that much, but I think it will. And also, um, I'm also I ran a map with like 1,000% increased Waystone drop on a tier 15 without a boss, and I got zero tier 15s, and all of them were like tier 3 or 4, like three to 13. I got like maybe 10, maybe two tier 13, and you can't sustain map at high levels at that. Like that was insane. I was like, I can't even believe it. Like that map had the breach and either a ritual or expedition, and I still didn't get a tier 15 map with like near to 1,000% waystone drop chance. Now they're gonna reduce it, so, so I'm not sure, but I think something has to change, or the way they test things. So it seems like the devs are testing to using simulations, right? Simulations are fine for testing, but if you're telling me that you're just most of your testing is just based on simulations, and you don't have any problem clearing maps, yeah, sure, that's fine. Numerically, that's fine, but as a player experience, that's really bad. Like, for example, if this is my only boss map and I somehow like you can still randomly die at high tiers to like random stuff like frozen and then uh stun lock, or like getting swarmed infinitely and you can't move at all, or like some random stuff that they just implement. Um so what that means is now you don't have your highest tier map, and then you have to find it, and finding it got really hard especially if you don't have those Atlas nodes activated or Atlas passives activated. So most likely what you're gonna do is you have to buy it from another person, which I did when I was starting out, and you're just gonna keep hoping that uh, when you clear it, you get at least two or three, so you get more chances and actually do the things that you want to do, and not just farm for waystones like forever in the end game. If that was the intent to keep us farming for waystones, sure. That I'm not really sure who's that helping. Like, I'd rather do breach or ritual because I'm trying to get like my skill points up for those. But now I have to do bosses, which means that I have less time farming those end game activities. So it seems like they just make it harder, and it's just catering to the higher end people on what the changes that they do. Like it seems like the changes that they're trying to implement is only good uh numerically, or like they think it's fair numerically because they run like a million simulation. But for certain players, maybe like 20% of the people, it's not really good because there's a lot of things that can kill you in endgame. It's like even if you're like super strong, they can still like randomly kill you, and it's not hard to get those waystones. I mean, it's hard to get those waystones that you want, especially if you're like targeting like increased rarity and just farming. Um, yeah, and I'm not sure how the Citadel thing will work, but hopefully after today we'll find out. Because I'm kind of excited to do the Arbiter of Ash fight, but at least now I get six chances in that. Um, but for all the other ones, you still just get one chance. So probably save like the keys for the other pinnacle bosses for that. If I'm not confident that I will kill him. All right. Thanks for listening for me ranting, and hopefully I'm wrong. And all the waystones are gonna be good, and all the changes that they're gonna make uh, for today's patch will be good. But that's just about it. See ya.